Good morning, everybody. Happy Thanksgiving. I wanted so badly to be outside with you, but since this channel is so new, it wouldn't allow me to do it from my iPad, which is considered mobile. So here we are. I'm going to pull up the chat and stick it right here just so I think I'm going to be fine. I think I can see it because I'm on my computer. Sometimes in mobile, it gets a little more difficult. I'm going to move this screen here so that there's not like all this glare on my glasses. Okay, a little better, right? Awesome. All right, well, I'll give just a little bit of time for people to pop in. I just really enjoy coming live on Thanksgiving morning because it tends to be a triggering time for people. Perhaps you have a special tradition that you had with your loved one that's no longer with you. Well, it could be tough. It could be real tough. I can tell you for me, um, I lost my son in May of 2005. So what's that been? 18 years? Gosh, I can't believe it's been 18 years. Whoa, a long time. However, you never forget them, nor do you want anybody to forget them. The loss of a child is a unique loss. Um, while I understand you, maybe you're just watching and you're not actually in the chat, you don't want to talk, you just don't want to be alone. That's okay. Wherever you are right now, I'm going to tell you right now, that's okay. It's just important that you embrace your grief, embrace the feelings, because just putting on a smile so that others aren't sad isn't healthy for you. But that doesn't mean you have to go around them. I understand. I understand completely. Thanksgiving wasn't a triggering holiday for me, so that's why I've for several years gone live on Thanksgiving morning, because for some it is. For some, it's one of the few times that the family all got together with each other and celebrated together and perhaps cook things together, things like that. I didn't have that. So it was easier for me to be strong for others on Thanksgiving. My trigger dates are, of course, Mother's Day and Christmas. Now, what I will tell you is if you are hurting and you have uh, Thanksgiving traditions that you're missing your loved one, you need to start some new traditions. Now, that doesn't mean that you're letting go of your loved one. It just means that you're um, making it easier for you to embrace the holiday and make a new tradition and carry that on, whatever that looks like for you. For me, uh, I didn't celebrate Christmas for many years. My husband and I, we would go to the local casino and hide, because on Christmas, have you ever tried to be home, have the TV on at Christmas, and there not be a sad Christmas story? It's near impossible. So we would go to the casino, spend the day there, eat there, and then finally we would come home late at night when we could just like go to bed and then wake up the next morning and Christmas be done. That's how we did it for many years, because it was just too painful. Well, my niece and nephew decided that they would start a new Christmas tradition with me. And so on Christmas Eve, we go to the movies, we go to dinner, and we never ever let that go. I remember one year I had surgery and they came and picked me up. It was raining, it was pouring rain, and we still went to the movies. And I want to say we got pizza that year. It was different, but we were together. And that's what it's all about, is really embracing the connections you do have. And sometimes you need to start new connections. Maybe you have no family whatsoever. Well, you need to find people in your life that perhaps um, find some things that you love, find some things that bring you joy. For me, gardening is it for me. It's what keeps me sane, like literally. I didn't start my garden until May of 2020 when several people started gardens because of what was going on in the world then, right? It got me out of the house, out in the sun. I have a low vitamin D anyway, and it got me out in the sun. It got me up out of my chair, and it just became this huge thing. I even have a YouTube channel called The Backyard Homesteader, and that will be training for a facility someday called Clifford's House. My son's name was Clifford, as you know, Cliff's story, right? And my goal is to help others in a way that I wasn't able to help my son in his name, because I don't want him to ever be forgotten. So, we have to make intentional steps sometimes to make sure we get the things that we truly want, the things that touch our hearts, right? So that's what I've done. What I do isn't necessarily what's going to be good for you. The message I want to give you right now, here, today, this very moment is maybe you don't feel grateful or thankful today on Thanksgiving. Maybe your heart is just broken. You have nothing. Just embrace that feeling, really feel it, get quiet, kind of not fully meditate, but just get quiet and take some deep breaths and really feel that hurt. Feel it. And, maybe if you do that when you're really feeling down, maybe at some point, once you get done with feeling that and breathing intentionally deep and just embracing it, maybe at some point you'll be able to let go of that hurt. It never goes away completely. We just learn to divert those feelings into different things, because while it is true, the more grateful we are, the more love that we share, the more that comes back to us. So, that needs to be the goal. Maybe that's, baby steps, whatever. Everybody's grief is different. And don't let anybody tell you that whatever you're feeling isn't valid. It doesn't matter what somebody else went through, because it's probably not the same as what you're going through. And that doesn't make it wrong at all. It makes it right for you, however you are handling it. What I would say is just don't allow yourself to do things in your grief process that will hurt you, because, that's a tendency, isn't it? When we're hurting, or maybe we feel guilty to feel good. That's very normal. That's very normal. Maybe you're afraid to be happy, because maybe then you're not sad about losing your loved one, your child, your sibling, your parents, your husband, wife, whatever. It's okay. That's normal. It's a phase of your grief process, and you'll work through it. Just, continue to look for things that bring you joy, okay? Because you need joy within your soul to ever be able to give any joy back or any love back. And you're here for a reason. We all are. Each and every one of us have a unique gift to share. Maybe you haven't found that yet. If you look for things that bring you joy, or you look for things that keep you sane, that just fill a spot within that nothing else seems to be able to fill, find that. Find what that is. Like, I don't know, gardening just was, it was silly. I mean, I embraced it, but who would have thought that I would have ended up where I'm at today with gardening. Not me. I would have never dreamed it, but I've gotten into the whole idea of homesteading, and I want to teach other young adults who are struggling with mental challenges how to homestead, how they can live and have an abundant life that's different than what the normal society does, right? And yeah, I would love to just live on a piece of dirt and grow everything and raise our food and then, you know, barter with other people that do different things that I don't do, that kind of a thing. That's always been very intriguing to me. I can do other things, you know. I've worked the corporate life. It's not who I am. It's not my heart at all. Thankfully, I'm no longer in that corporate life, but good night. I'm going to be 62 in January. It was time. Now, I do have a business and it's very busy, and I just sometimes sit and wonder, what are you doing? You don't want to work this hard, but you got to earn a living. So you need to embrace where you're at, find ways to fit in intentionally things that bring joy to your heart, period. And so that's my garden for me. Or crocheting. I love to crochet. Sometimes, just sitting and crocheting is what's healing to me. Yeah. So, anywho, how long have I been on here? 11 minutes. I could probably chat for a very long time, but I just really wanted to be here. I know that many people suffer in silence. Maybe you're watching, or maybe you'll watch this later. I just want you to know that wherever you are right now, it's okay. It's okay until you decide you want something different, because you're the only one that can um, know your thoughts or think differently. And you're going to think differently when your heart heals a bit and you come to terms with some things on your terms, nobody else's terms. I don't want you to let anybody force you to do something that you're not ready for. But at the same time, I want you to just really get quiet, sit down, and think about wanting to get beyond where you're currently at. And you're not going to be able to see that right away. Just continue to look for that while you embrace this journey, this grief journey that you have, and consider a new tradition. Decide what that is. If you get involved with things that you love and you reach out to a community, whether it's online or in person. Now, in person is amazing, but I know sometimes when we're grieving so deeply, that's just a little too much, right? They're able to enter your little bubble, as I call it. I have a bubble that I don't let everybody into out of fear of losing the progress I've made up until this time with my grief process, because it's hard. It's very hard. You can do it, but I'm not going to tell you that it's going to be easy, because it's not, nor should it be. We lost our loved one. For me, it's my son. My friend, my mother. I mean, there's so many, right? I feel like losing a child is a little harder to come to terms with than maybe some of the others, while they're still hard. And do things out of those losses that keep the memory of them alive within you, how it makes you feel good. Okay. Because the more you are able to fill up your cup within, the more you'll be able to give back. Okay. And that feels good once you get to that point where you're able to quit being angry, quit hurting so severely that it paralyzes you. You'll get to the point where you want to give back and you want to make a difference. And you will, because nothing we go through in life, even the hard things, especially the hard things, something good will come out of it. You may be able to help somebody. And even if it's just one person, it was worth it. Well, not the loss of your child, but being able to reach out, right? So, anyway, with that, I don't have anybody in the chat right now. That's okay. It rarely happens. But share this with somebody that you feel may be suffering a little bit right now. Maybe, privately just share this link and just leave it at that. Don't expect any response. Just share it with somebody you love that perhaps you feel is having a tough time. And for those of you watching that are having a tough time, I embrace you. I hug you. Be kind to yourself. Okay? It'll get better. Depending on where you're at, it may take a little while. Baby steps. Take care of yourself. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. Mwah.